Yes, I'm Ginger. Moving on. Hi everyone. So I have a shitload of books to haul for you guys. I'm just gonna fucking get on with it. No dilly-dallying. Let us just get on with it. So, first things first, I've already shown you guys 4 of these books because I unboxed them. Anna K by Jenny Lee and It Sounded Better in My Head by Nina Kenwood. I unboxed these in my Strand book hookup box unboxing, so you can see more about those over there. And also in my last video I did a book swap and I got Timekeeper by Tara Sim and The Falling in Love Montage by Kiara Smith, so you can learn more about those books in that video as well. I'm not sure if I hauled this already, but just in case I didn't, I have Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It was a YA debut mystery which had all the potential to be a disaster, and I fucking loved it. I didn't even predict what was going to happen until the point in the book where the author wanted me to click and go, it's this person. And that's a really fucking hard thing to do. Literally, I usually predict exactly what's going to happen like the minute the suspect is introduced, or the book doesn't give you enough proper clues? Doesn't give you enough proper clues, and then you get to the point where they do the reveal and you're like, hold on, like it's not this person, it's only a shock because there's no fucking evidence. So I really love Holly Jackson's writing and I've heard really good things about this sequel as well, so I'm excited to pick this up soon. I'm going to say that about every fucking book. There's like 20 of them, so clearly I'm not going to get to it anytime soon, am I? But hey, whatever. Optimistic. Next, I have books that were sent to me by the lovely Molly at I keep saying Mind with Molly and I don't know why, it's Mind of Molly. But she sent me Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens, which is one I've had on my radar for so long, particularly because Kayla from Books and Lala raves about it. Do you think I really know anything about it? No, I'm pretty sure it's sapphic, but that's all I know. I'm sure you guys know. Sorry, I will try and describe books a little bit better, but this is just one of those books that I don't want to read the description of, so sorry, like, sue me. She also sent me The Grace Year by Kim Leggett, which so excited about. This is a book that if Molly ever offers to send you something, or if she like asks for your wish list and this is on your wish list, you're gonna get it because she's obsessed with this book and I cannot wait. All I know of The Grace Year is when girls turn 16, they get sent to a forest. And I don't know, I think they have to like build survival, maybe they try and kill each other, I don't know, but the girls don't talk about it when they come back, but I'm assuming I'm gonna read about it and like follow a girl in the situation, so I'm gonna find out what happens. But I'm very, very excited, and I have never seen this cover before until it was sent to me, and it's fucking beautiful. Then a couple weeks later, Molly decided to send me some more books from my wish list. Molly got me Rose Interrupted by Patrice Lawrence, which I am currently in the middle of. I say middle, I'm 70 pages in. And this book follows Rose, obviously, and her brother Ritter, who have escaped from a strict religious sect, otherwise known as a cult, but that's another conversation. So far, we seem to be following Ritter more than Rose, but I think I have some ideas about where this might go, and therefore I think we'll follow Rose more. Like, I think Ritter's gonna end up going back to the Pilgrims and we'll follow Rose more, which is kind of disappointing because like I love books set in cults, so I would love to read about Ritter being in the Pilgrims and like learning how they work, but I'll take what I can get because so far it is really enjoyable and I love their sibling dynamic. Like I'm an only child, so like I don't really understand sibling relationships, but I like this one. And she also sent me Anger is a Gift by Mark Oshiro. Can we also just point out how fucking beautiful this cover is? People say like an essential book to read alongside The Hate You Give and Dear Martin, and I know it deals with like the character Moss, the main character. He has a lot of like anxiety, has panic attacks, but what I think the main plot of the story is that like his school is like a really poor school and they also have like officers stationed in the halls, and I think him and a bunch of students decide to kind of say like, you know, we're not criminals, like we don't need this. However, I'm not 100% sure on Mark Oshiro's like race. Oshiro is quite a Japanese sounding name, but he is, as you can see from his profile picture, he's at least white passing, So I'm not sure if this is an Own Voices black book or if it's another ethnicity writing it, but either way it has been getting really, really good reviews, and I am definitely looking forward to picking this up. Adam Silvera's blurbed it. Interesting. Anyway, this cover, I'm obsessed with this cover, so that's all that I'm really bothered about at this point. I picked up a couple books to kind of better my education. First things first, I do have White Fragility. Obviously this book was one people were talking about a lot and saying to get. I ordered my copy, it was out of stock. The indie bookstore were like, oh, we can cancel it if you'd like, and I was like, no, like, it's fine, I'll just get it when it comes. And then as soon as it was dispatched to me, that is when it all came out that this white author uses the N-word with the hard R. And I was really conflicted about what to do about this book, but I have seen varying points of view from black people, and obviously I don't want to disregard the black people that have been upset by the content of this book, but equally I don't want to disregard the opinions of those who think that it's, I don't want to say acceptable, but like who understand and think that it might have a place. I'm trying to word this well. Basically, I have it and I'm gonna give it a try. I'm not gonna make excuses for them using the word. Like, I know it's apparently only ever in quotes, but like you could still censor a quote. You know, for me, like, I am well aware of the word's use and why it shouldn't be used, so I can take that into context. The only real issue will be if I were to leave a review. I think I'm just not going to give this book a star rating when I get to it, if I get to it, all this stuff, but it is something to be, like, to bear in mind that it is a book on race by a white author. I don't know, but I have it. I gave that book way too much time. On the other hand, I have the book Biased by Jennifer L. Eberhardt, which is by a black author and deals with racial bias and hidden prejudices, and so far I'm 70 pages in. It's a book that I am taking slowly. Being autistic and having ADD, I find reading in general can be quite difficult, but reading non-fiction is very much a slog for me. Like, my brain is not programmed for reading non-fiction, and it's difficult. And then obviously the subject matter is difficult. Like, there's things in here, like even just 70 pages in, where, you know, the author's like 4, 5, 6-year-old kids are like picking up on racial bias and like feeling bad about themselves, and it's, you know, it's difficult for me to read, never mind, you know, if someone is black and choosing to read this book. Like, it's horrible, and it has really opened my eyes to how bias affects every single person regardless of race. So I think this is a book that, it's a book that everybody can and should read. I know that Seji from The Artisan Geek, she has read this. She just done a video talking about this book and a bunch of others. I haven't watched that video yet because I don't want to watch it while I'm still reading this. I don't know why, I'm just, it's not like she's going to spoil it, but anyway. I can guarantee you that her thoughts on this book will be a lot more eloquent than mine, so I will link her video below just because you should be listening to black people on these topics anyway. And I definitely think that Seji is probably one of, if not the best, in regards to like non-fiction titles. She's just incredibly eloquent. She's honestly one of the most inspiring booktubers. Her content is amazing. But this is a book that I would definitely recommend people pick up. Next, I have The Future of Another Timeline by Annalee Newitt. I heard of this book from Jessie from Bow Ties and Books. They have their non-binary book club. I cannot remember if that is the name of it or if it has another name. I'm really sorry. But they were reading this book for it. And while I knew that I would never read it and be there for like the live show and discussion, I wanted it because it looked really pretty. So obviously Annalee will be a non-binary author, I believe. From what I know is it's like feminism, obviously time travel is probably involved. Oh yeah, time travel is possible, and there's a war, there's a group trying to destroy women's rights, and all that good stuff. The book looked a lot more pink on Instagram, and it's very fucking bright orange, but I am living for the blue and the orange together because Iron Root, we love that. I don't know when I will get to this book because it has very small font and it is obviously like adult sci-fi, which is very out of my comfort zone at the minute, so I'm probably going to hold on to this for a good little while until I build up my reading skill and habit and all of that again, just so that I don't burn out and attempt to read it. But at least I have it, okay? I'm trying to diversify my reading genres. The next two books I have, I bought way back at the beginning of May, I think. If you cast your mind back, you may recall that McKenzie Lee, a white author, you know, Good Gentleman's Guide to whatever. I was gonna say Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but it's The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, or whatever the fuck that series is called. Basically, this white author worked for an indie bookstore and thought it would be a great idea as part of promo for said bookstore to, when people ordered books, like if they wanted, she would like sign them or doodle on them. And she chose to do that over like POC authors, so AOCs then, isn't it? Anyway, she like what am I trying to say? Basically it was a problem. She wasn't just signing and doodling and defacing these people's books, but she was doing it on the actual page that an author would sign the book on. Like, you know, the majority of books like have a blank page at the end. Like, she could have done it there, but she chose to do it on the title page, and it was just, it was really trashy. And then certain authors spoke up about it and said, I'm really unhappy about this. Like, you know, I'm an author of colour. I live in, you know, I don't live in one of the big publishing centres. Like, I'm not in the UK or America. Like, you know, it was a whole thing. And then McKenzie Lee just basically said it's not a big deal, and it's like, it is a big deal if someone's telling you it's a big deal to them. So long story short, we all hate McKenzie Lee, and we all went out of our way to support Rin Chapeko. So I have The Bone Witch by Rin Chapeko, which is a title that I'd heard of and I was curious about, but it's a fantasy, and like a high fantasy, and it scares me. And at the time I bought it and I was like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna buy it, and I might never read it, but I've still supported Rin in some way. But now I really do want to branch out on, like, as I was saying for Future of Another Timeline, I want to try and branch out my reading. And, you know, while I enjoy every genre, I just don't necessarily know my niches in those genres. And rather than just hiding from them entirely, I should pick them up. So I have this one now. And all I know is there's a girl who's a necromancer, which makes her a bone witch. Or she has necromancy powers. And so she's a bone witch. But then she has to go and like train to be a bone witch. And there's probably a war because fantasy. But I have it. I didn't just want to buy the one book from Rin. And I didn't want to just buy one that I wasn't sure if I'd ever read. So I also picked up The Girl from the Well, which is a horror, which is something I haven't read a lot of, but I do think the ones that I have read I have very much enjoyed. They're quite like thrillers, like mystery thrillers, but different. Makes sense. But from what I gathered from this, the main character is a ghost, or well, she's dead. She's trying to seek vengeance on people that hurt kids, and then she meets a 17-year-old, and I feel like she might fall in love with him. I don't know, but it's quite short. And I'm very keen to get to it. There's no better time than now, I guess. Like, I was going to say I could wait till Halloween, but literally 2020 is as scary as it's going to fucking get, so may as well pick it up. Next, I have Same But Different, Teen Life on the Autism Express by Holly Robinson Peete, Ryan Elizabeth Peete, and RJ Peete. This is a family. I believe it's a mum and her 2 kids who are... Oh, my battery's going to die. They are twins, and RJ, the brother, is autistic. And this book is, I believe it's a fiction, like a novel that the 2 kids have written along with their mother, that detail kind of just what life was like for them, having an autistic sibling, being autistic. So being autistic, I like to read about autistic books, and it's supporting not even just a black author, but like an entire black family, so like we love that. Next I have Long Division by Kiasi, is that a Y or a G? Lemon, it's a Y. This I can't really remember much about. This, I was looking for mystery books by black authors because the majority of lists are fantasy and contemporary, and I was like, I want mystery. In the end I gave up and just added like any book that looked interesting, even if it was contemporary, because again, broadening my reading genre horizons. But what I recall of this is it's a book within a book. There's a character, there's literally no synopsis on this book anywhere, so I'm really having to use my brain. There's like a character who finds this book called Long Division, and then he like I don't know, but it sounds mysterious, book within a book. We love that, so I will hopefully pick this up soon. Again, I say that for every book. I have a lot of books I want to get to, but prioritize your black authors, people. Like, I was really bad for saying that, like, oh, but it's not intentional that I don't have a lot of black authors. Doesn't fucking matter. Make it intentional. Buy books by black authors all the fucking time, okay? Anyway, oh, sorry. I don't have time for this. My camera's gonna die. 3 books. We can do this. Next, I have Point by Brandy Colbert. This is another black author, and it's a mystery of some sort. Basically, this girl, trigger warning for eating disorders, because it says on the back that Theo is better now she's eating again, so a little hesitant there, but she is a ballet dancer, so like, ballet dancer stereotypes. But essentially her best friend like went missing and he was kidnapped for 4 years, but then he returns, and I don't know, something about reliving memories. I don't know, the description's kind of confusing to me. Theo starts reliving memories about his abduction. Like, how can she relive memories of her friend's abduction? I don't know. Oh, maybe she was there and he got kidnapped. Anyway, sounds very interesting. Then I have How It Went Down by Kekla Magoon. This is a story about a black boy who gets shot twice by a white shooter, and we're essentially trying to figure out what happened. There's a lot of different people that were witnesses, but everybody's story is different. So it just sounds very interesting. It seems like there's a lot of different like twists and turns, just obscuring the truth, and this cover is gorgeous. So I think this will be a really interesting take. There's a lot of books out there that deal with like a black person being shot, typically by the police, but I don't know if this person's a police officer. But this is made more mysterious rather than contemporary, if that makes sense, and I just think it'll be, I think it'll be a fun read because of the mystery element, but I also think it will be quite impactful. And finally, if I can do this before my battery dies, I have a middle grade called Gloom Time by Ronald L. Smith. From what I recall, this is a 12-year-old boy who applies for a job at a spooky mansion, has a bad feeling about the owner, but they need the money, and basically there's a group of ancient evil beings that want to take over the world. This just sounds like so much fucking fun, and the cover is gorgeous, and I really, really want to pick this up ASAP, but I keep putting it off because I don't know if there's any more books like this out in the world, and like I don't want to read it and become obsessed and then not have any others. So that is my new mission, is to find middle grade books like this, specifically by black authors, because as I said, we're being intentional. I'm only buying books by black authors unless they're ones that I'm super fucking excited about. So like, yeah. Anyway, wrap this up quickly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh my god, I need to try and take a thumbnail as well. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, leave a comment below, give me recommendations for your favourite black authors and black books and just all that good stuff, and I will see you in my next video. Oh wait, I didn't say bye. Bye! Oh Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ. Superstar. Da, 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 da. That'll do.